Welcome back to a 67 Camaro video. Wasn't even sure I was going to shoot anything, but I've been out here pounding for a while and things are starting to kind of happen. So I figured I'd bring you along. Now, ignore how much paint is missing and how much metal has been bashed here. But if you recall, these used to touch. And that is starting to come together. And that's just all work without actually pulling the door and the fender off. I'm going to have to pull it off to do the stitching. Nothing I can do about that, although maybe I can get away with loosening the fender and pulling it back. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. So I've still got to stitch this up, but this is starting to come along. And in fact, when you look in here, you can see, and yes, I'm only worried about that edge right now, the outside one. This needs curled in. That's going to be a little easier to do with this out of the way, I think. So I want it to still look like this. So that'll get curled more, and that'll give it a nicer appearance. But you can see, doing everything I can to make this work. And then once this is hammered in, then I can suck the door in or the fender out a little bit. I'm just barely there. Although I have been pounding on this door, so it might have moved because I only tighten things so much. But I think that's the next thing I got to deal with. So anyway, welcome back. Better for worse, we're getting ready to try something that I haven't done yet, and that's this kind of build-up. So I've got the fender loose as far forward as she wants to go. I think that's enough room for me to get in there and at least, if nothing else, get my profile height and length so that if I do have to pull that, I at least have something to work with. Okay, here is our first pass. And I did a quick grind down on it. And you can see, well, okay, let me get a second stick here. Because we've got the fender pulled forward and out a little. So, let me see. It's a little more than 2. So, let's grab 3 sticks here. See if that puts us in our ballpark. Okay, well, you can kind of see what we're doing here. Yeah, I liked 2 better. So I think I gotta angle that out. That's still hot. And then a bump right here. Yeah, this is actually working, and then I'll be able to detail that a little better once the fender's off. But I need this profile to already be here. So we've got a little more build up here. Well, let's shape it. Okay, just ground that. Now let's see what we've got. I'm just going to kind of temp hold the fender in place against that line, and now we're real close here. I've still got to remove material here, but that is starting to look pretty decent. This still has to be curled. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see, that needs a little curling, but that'll be easier to do with the fender off. But I'm digging the shape. I think we're really close now. So, yeah, let's get to that angle. Whoop, lost the shim. Lost a couple shims. But all I care about is this angle here. I may have to pull just a touch here. I've been really loath to add anything right there because I'm going to be removing here. So, I think I'm actually at the point where it's time for this fender to come off for right now. Okay, sorry about the compressor running, but having the fender forward, that's helping. I don't know, in fact, let me zoom in a little, or a lot. Okay, we'll zoom in a lot. There, let's get you guys situated where you can see this edge. So you can see this is starting to really become pretty nice. I've got a little more rounding right here because I want it to have the same profile as down here. Some of that I think will be handled when we do that metal filler. You know, I just think that's probably the safer way to do that than trying to weld that shape. But it's pretty thick here. It's nice and sturdy. So I think, oh, and it gave me a chance too to kind of clean that up a little bit. So now that isn't as bent. Huh, loud. Be right back. Sometimes you never know what YouTube's going to play next. So, okay. I think I'm going to clean this up just a little bit before it all goes back in. But this is getting really close to what I'm looking for. I have a feeling that I've almost got this angle finally solved. So, I've kept track of all my shims. Let's see if I can rehang this fender. It'll take a couple minutes. It'll be a few. We'll be right back. Okay, still working, and still working. What I'm finding is to get gapping the way I like it, I've got a lip here. So let me grab a stick and show you what I mean. But if I fold that down to match this, then that causes a different set of problems and it pinches in. So what I think I have to do is peel this part of the door out a little bit. Some of this I can do in filler, but I really don't want to if I don't have to. So, just gonna play a little dolly and kind of tap it out, see what happens. What's the worst I can do? Mess it up? I hope this shows up. So, here's where we're at. We're a little snug here, so I am going to do a little adjusting. But you can see I'm getting pretty close to the shape I want. So it gets just a touch wide here, but it's not unacceptable. This is unacceptable. We already accept that. We know we're going to have to do something with that. So this is really starting to come out though. This has been a lot of work. I've been doing this for hours. And look at that. No longer smacka. So, let's see. Yeah, see, she's going up a little. So I'm going to have to change the striker because I've moved the door a lot. Trying to do, we're in the compromise mode. And remember, this is going to get built up here. So I'm trying to compensate for it with the door now. Because that will come up no matter what I do. Just to get this body line back. It's nice that it's solid again, but there will be some of that all metal or whatever you called that. This is pretty good here. I'm wondering, yeah, does it ever get pinchy? Only right here. And honestly, I think I can fix that because I like this height. It also has only one shim here, a skinny shim here, a fat shim here, a skinny and a fat here, a stack here so big you could kill an elephant with it, and then one here. So this is a giant improvement over where we were. Now remember, this body line is incorrect. We know that. I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. We're probably gonna wind up coming out a certain distance, doing a build up a weld, shaping it a little, and then feathering that in. We'll see. I got some learning to do there. But one of the things I've been working on, and it seems silly, is this right here. See, when it opens, if that angle isn't correct, you're going to lose paint. And I'm trying really hard to minimize doing all this work and then flaking all the paint right off. So when we go to the other side, which I haven't touched today, so I mean, you can see we got some work here, but that's not the end of the world. Clean that up. All of this looks, except for that, looks pretty good. So watch. See, this is the part where it comes in and it lips in, and right here, there's plenty of room the way the hinge comes out. So I'm not there yet over there, but I'm getting really close. So I'm not as upset at this as I was. I'm still worried about, the vent window and all these channels and stuff, aftermarket stuff. I don't know how to solve that yet. But this is starting to come together, and it turns out this has been in my wheelhouse. Okay, I think shortly I'm going to do a little fog coat on here so I can see if I'm scraping. But this is starting to look pretty good. Remember, we'll fix that later. So Remember, they're coming back out. Also, remember, from here down, we know we have to do build-up. So, we can work with that. It's from here to here that we gotta make that all happy. Remembering that nothing about this door fit when we started. This is getting a lot closer. You know, we fixed that. This actually worked. Terrified to try the wing window. That'll be fun. I think we may wind up opening this a little, but it's a lot easier to take it off than it is to put it back on. So let's wait on that. Okay, this is probably where I might be calling it for tonight. So a little more time in here. I threw some flat black on here just to make it easier for me to see. So you can see, remember, we got to build this up, so don't worry about that one. But we got a nice line across the bottom here. Nice line here. This doesn't line up. We know. Got to learn how to fix that. But look at, here's a stick. This is so different than how I started. Remember, this had a big whoop right here. You could put 4 sticks in there. Now, I don't like the tightness here. I just haven't decided if I'm cutting it out of the door or out of the fender yet. That's as far as I'm willing to grind, and I don't think I can push this fender any further. You know, yeah. So I'm probably cutting a tiny bit out of this door and stitching it in, and then regrinding it, because that is a little tight. Looks pretty good here, really good through here. This is just such a dramatic improvement. And then I haven't done anything on the passenger side today. So remember, I'm going to grind this. Overall, I don't have a ton of filling to do here, and I may even still be able to get that with adjustment. But you can see that, just what a night and day difference from one side to the other. Same company. Of course, on this one, we had to add metal on this edge of the door. That's fine. We did it. So the next time I work out here, I think I'll focus on that side. And then once I think the fender to door ratio is close-ish, you know, because this could all change, then we'll focus here on the valances and probably throw the trunk drops and that lower valance on. Not valance, whatever. And we'll try to get this lined up. Then once we think the front of the car is square-ish, then we'll set a hood on there and find out that nothing is square. That's just how that's going to go. So, little here, little here, little here. But this is just a giant difference. In fact, if you look, you can see how much we added here. You can see the edge. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We've got over 1,000 subscribers now, and that was kind of a little goal we had. So, please like, comment, and subscribe.